Hello guys and welcome to today's tropical update. And in this video we're going to be talking about what is now Tropical Storm Fiona. Yes, we got the sixth named storm of the season. Now when you're thinking of September the 16th and you're only talking about six named storms, you're probably thinking about 8 or 9 or 10 named storms by now. But as you guys know, the season has been pretty slow, but I think things are going to start to turn around here as we go through the rest of September and going into October. So as you can see, yes, we got two more areas of interest here. This one shouldn't do anything. There's too much strong upper level winds in this area. This one, some models are liking it. It could get a name storm. It could not get a name storm, but I do expect this to at least become an invest at the very least. But right now we are talking about Tropical Storm Fiona, as this is the headliner right now because this is affecting land anytime starting tonight here in the Leeward Islands. And this is, as of the 2 p.m. update, is located at 16.2 north, 60.3 west, and it's moving west at around 14 miles per hour. Minimal sensor pressure is about 1,005 millibars, and maximum sustained winds are at 50 miles per hour. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the forecast here, and as you can see, it's steady. It's steady. It's 50 miles per hour right now, and then in 12 hours they expect it to go 60, and then 65, 70, and then they expect it to become a hurricane here in the next 5 days or so. And if this becomes a Category 1 hurricane, this is the first time that Fiona has been a hurricane since this has been used. And I think the first time Fiona has been used was 2010, because I believe it replaced Francis from the 2004 hurricane season. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the infrared here, and it's still a mess. I mean, it's trying to organize a little bit, but the center is somewhere around this area, just east of Guadalupe here. And it looked like it was trying to race away from the convection again earlier. It still might, but we're going to have to see how it all pans out here in the next 24 to 36 hours, because that shear could lessen just a little bit for it to organize as we head out through time. But if the low level center does indeed race away from the convection again, it could feel that tug more to the west southwest than it was feeling yesterday. Whether that happens or not, that's up in the air. We're just gonna have to see how it all pans out going forward. All right, so here is the ECMWF. This was initialized at 12Z today, and we are initializing at 1,007 millibars, which is 2 millibars higher than what it is right now. So we're going to go out through time. 24 hours is about 1,006. It's staying steady about where it should be. Once we get to the 48-hour mark, it's starting to strengthen now to 1,000 millibars. And let's take a look at some soundings here if we can. Nope, we cannot do that. All right, so 72 hours. It's right on the eastern side of the Dominican Republic. It's about 1,001 millibars. Now, the eastern side of the Dominican Republic isn't as mountainous as the western side of the Dominican Republic. That's why it's having a much better time of it, as it's traversing land. And here at the 96-hour mark, it exits the island there. Let's go to the western Atlantic part here, and that's 991 millibars. So that's pretty interesting. That's a borderline hurricane here. And now we go to our 120, and it's pretty much parked itself on the Turks and Caicos there. So they're going to probably see some very gusty winds and some very heavy rain, some flooding and what have you there. So this is definitely a hurricane at this point. Let's see if we can't do a sounding here. We probably can. We are looking at 26 knots of shear, which is pretty terrible. And the relative humidity is pretty good, about 81%. All right, so here is the GFS, and this was initialized at 12Z, and as you can see, it strengthens it too quickly. I don't know if I definitely don't buy this scenario here. Whatever it does here in the next 12 to maybe 18 hours could probably be thrown out. As you can see here at the 24-hour mark, it goes down back to 1,006 millibars. We're looking at 19 knots a shear at 69% relative humidity. So now we're going to go 48 hours. As you can see, we are now at 1,004 millibars. So that's pretty interesting. And it cuts the Mona Passage. And here at hour 78, we're now talking about 990 millibar strong tropical storm where we cannot take a sounding. So 96 hours, it really starts to blow up here. 978. We're looking at 35 knots of shear, which is absolutely horrendous, and 70% relative humidity. So the relative humidity is pretty good, but the shear is absolute garbage. The shear drops though at hour 120 down to 20 knots, which is iffy. 82% relative humidity. So both the GFS and the European both want a hurricane out of the system. We're still in a very complex situation. Yeah, the models show this not hitting the United States, but just hear me out here. Dominican Republic and Haiti have been known to change the track up a little bit. So, I'm not going to be taking off any options off the table until it gets past Dominican Republic and Haiti. Yes, I will say this. The landfall rate for this to go to the United States is really low. I will say that up front right now. But there's still an off chance that it weakens so much over Hispaniola that it feels the low-level motion and probably tugs it more west than it should compared to models. Just, keep your guard up. Just keep watching, what the system does. But as of right now, it looks like a recurve out to sea. And, well, okay, probably might affect Bermuda, but most likely scenario is out to sea with the fishes. All right, so here is the CMC. This was initialized at 12Z here today, and we're starting out at 1,005 millibars, which is exactly what it is right now. So we're going to go 24 hours out, 1,004, 48, 998, 997. This is a moderate tropical storm, maybe a strong one. 96, 989, and as you see, it slows down at the Turks and Caicos a little bit. And once we get to the day 5 time frame, we're looking at 977 millibar hurricane here. So not only the GFS, not only the Euro, but the CMC also shows a hurricane out of this. So pretty interesting times ahead. I can probably promise you this is probably going to be a ace maker, if anything. So we're just going to have to see how it all pans out as we head out through time. Here is the NOAA Coral Reef Watch sea surface temperatures for the system. And where you can see these oranges and reds, there's some 30s, 29s, and it's pretty much got that supply of 30s and 29s going all the way up through the islands that it's going through. And north of the islands here in the Turks and Caicos, and northeast of the Bahamas. So it definitely has the water temperatures and fuel to definitely strengthen. The question is, yeah, the relative humidity looks decent in this area. That's why you see the strengthening. But I'm really questioning the wind shear. I mean, is that wind shear, is it going with the wind shear? Is it going against the wind shear? That's the question that's going to be answered when the time comes. Anyways, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video update on Tropical Storm Fiona.